Welcome, family, to Peep Game TV and Keeping a Real Team collaboration. I'm your man, Shadi Ali, aka SRD, with my main man, Jay Sean, aka Mr. F Love, on this Thursday, June 25th. All right, so let's get into it, my people.
What's going on with you?
Hey, not much, man. Making it do what it do till it don't do it no more. You dig? That's all.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking about that. I was just wondering. Like, I'm like, man, you way in the south, and I'm up here, and it be summer one day, and then fall one day, and winter the next day. It's crazy.
Well, I like to say the weather like the people. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Sometimes people can be nice and warm and welcoming. Next thing you know, they could be cold hearted and, neglecting and resistant.
Yeah, you're right about that. You're 100% right, man. Um, but hey, we here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we here.
Who ma-
We
who
here.
made
And
who
it's
made
all,
who made that shirt?
um, this I had made. Dre had got it made for me. He had sent it to the spot and got it made for me.
Oh, okay, it's
Yeah,
nice.
yeah. Thanks. I got some more going to be coming out though. It's pretty
Yeah,
soon, man.
I called Sweet Pea. He ain't doing too good.
No.
Nah, he's kind of sick right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we'll
Yeah,
keep him in.
yeah. He in our prayers, man. Hope get better, brother. You know what I'm saying. Take care of yourself. Do what you got to do to get yourself well, man. And you in our prayers, man. And we wish you a speedy recovery, sweet Pete, my brother.
That's why I go to them doctors, man. I go.
Yeah. You gotta keep up with your health, man. Your health is your true wealth. No good having a bunch of money and you can't do anything with it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Because your health is failing you.
you
So,
right.
everybody out there listening, please take care of yourselves, man. Take care of your health. Eat right, exercise, and watch your intake with certain things that you enjoy. Because a lot of things that we enjoy don't necessarily be the best for us.
Yep. I
So
don't I don't even eat after 8 o'clock no more, Sha.
I could dig it, brother. I could dig it. I'm
Yeah.
striving to get to not eat past 6. I'm working on that right now. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm working
Yeah.
on that.
So I'm still doing my numbers, walking, going to the gym, and now I added something else to it. Not eating past 8 because that was my problem. Like I eat a lot of snack at night, so I stopped that.
Well, I mean, it's good to give your body a rest, man, because digesting food that causes your body to work. So the less you eat, the less your digestive system has to be really active.
Yep.
So that's something that we definitely want to put out there for everybody else to do your best, man. Take your time, do what makes you comfortable until you get even more comfortable.
True.
You know, I
Yep.
I've gotten down to the weight that you was talking about, man.
When? Which one?
210.
Damn, that's my. You got
Yeah,
down to 210.
yeah, that's where I'm at right now. 210, man.
That's where I'm trying to get to, man. 6 months and I still can't get there.
Yeah. That's been a goal, man. Because I've been up there. And as you get older, you want to have a comfortable weight, man.
Yeah,
So I'm dealing with that right now, but hopefully my ultimate goal is probably between 200 and 205. I want to see how that works out.
that's where that's where I want to be.
Yeah.
around 205. But right now, I just got to get to 210.
Hey, you got to start somewhere, brother. You got to
Yeah.
start somewhere. You know what I
Yep.
mean? And I remember when you was doing that military diet and you had got down to it, and I was like, okay, that's good money, man. That's good
Shit.
money. But only thing with that is a diet is not a lifestyle. You got to get a lifestyle change.
Yep. That's why I stopped eating after. Now I don't eat after 8 o'clock, and I'm doing the intermittent fasting.
Okay.
So I only eat. They want you could do 12 to 8, but I'm doing 10 to 8 first, and then I'll try to work my way to 12 to 8 because they say that's good. Because then between 8 and I guess 10 or 12, your body got to eat the fat because it ain't eating no food no more.
Okay. Okay. So you saying what? 12 at noon? Noon time? Start 12 at noon or 12 at night?
No, I start 10 in the morning. I eat at 10. I stop at 8, but I want to work my way to eat. Start at 12 noon and stop at 8 p.m.
Oh, yeah. Well, I already started the eating at 12. I started that. So
Yeah.
I'm striving to get 12 to 6. That's what I'm striving to get to,
Well,
12
you
to
do
6.
you do the Ramadan and all that, so you.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's conditioning, man. Conditioning, mind conditioning, body conditioning. All of these things are healthy for us as
Yep.
individuals, man, because sometimes we want to test ourselves.
Yeah.
We want to test ourselves and see what we can handle. That's
Yep.
all. Yeah, but let's get into it, brother.
Okay. Let's do it.
What's up, family? I wanna kick today's conversation off with something that, might be surprising or maybe it won't, you know. But I would like to say, what if I told you that 25.2 million young adults under the age of 35 and under are still living with their parents? What would you say about that?
And that's a big number. 25.
Point two million.
20, 22, well,
25.2 million
25.2 million
million. Right.
adults under.
35 and under are still living with their parents.
Yeah. Now that's deep because if you think of the, I always, I'm always out the box. So if you think about it and go back into our time, just go back. Our goal was to be on our own by 18 when we was young. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
we was already doing adult things, making money, taking. Some of us had children, taking care of children, working or hustling. Then it moved on a little bit more, I think, to maybe like 18 to 21. You know what I mean?
Right,
Then it went to 25. You might got a 25 year. Now I did the research, and 25.2 million people 35 years old and younger is still living at home with their parents. And that, it's not a knock on society or a knock on the youth. It's a knock on a lot of other things. It's a knock on the economy. It's a knock on uh the
interest rates.
the interest rates. It's a knock on the cost of living, employment. It's a knock on a lot of things. But if it's if they basing it off of 35 years old right now, that mean like in another 10 years it might be 45 years old. You know what I mean? You
Yeah,
might be
possible.
45 and still living at home with your parents. So I'm not gonna blame the adults because, well, I'm basing this in New Jersey. In New Jersey, the cost of living is so expensive. You really can't you can't be one person in an apartment by yourself. Either you got to have a roommate or you got to have a partner, and that you splitting it. Unless you on some kind of government assistance, TRA, Section 8, housing. So when I think about the bar has risen from 18 to now you got a quarter, 25.4 million. That's a quarter of the people in America that's under 35 still living at home. Hey, you gotta blame the government. You gotta start from the top, from Trump all the way down. You know what I mean? And I don't see no smooth selling no time soon. What you think about it? What you get off of me?
Oh, you say you don't see no light at the end of the tunnel no time
Nah,
soon.
no time. Not here. Not where I'm at.
I mean, you mentioned a few things, like the economy, which is jacked up because the cost of living is going up and salaries are remaining the same. In some cases, even decreasing. So as you said, now it's time to be looking for partners. You know what I mean? And this is not unusual because when we grew up, the family used to live together.
Right.
Families supported each other and lived together. So I think to some degree we are being forced to consider that, to consider living together longer. Now, if those young adults are with their parents, as long as they're chipping in and making it easier for the parents, even if you don't have a job, there's stuff you can do. If you're staying in a home, make sure the yard is clean, make sure the hedges is kept up. If you a woman, or men, cook dinner. You know what I mean? Cook dinner for your parents. So it's things we could do that can actually make living with each other more tolerable and more beneficial. So I don't, as you said, it's not necessarily a bad thing unless you're similar to the way we were and you wanted to be out of the house earlier and you're unable to do so because financial restraints, then yeah, then it probably is a hardship. But if not, and you're actually comfortable with living with your parents, make it comfortable for them as well. That's what I would say. You know what I
That's
mean?
yeah. That's real. That's real. Um, I found that like intriguing too. That was like crazy, but moving right along. Um, oh, all right. In your book that you wrote in your book, titled "Hustler to Businessman," you wrote about young people and elders sharing some of their life experiences with each other. Um, why why was that so important to you to write about?
Well, nowadays, and we did the same thing. When we were growing up, we would say our parents, they don't understand what we're going through. They don't live the type of life we done lived. And right now, that's the same thing we're hearing regurgitated now from the young people. Y'all don't know what it's like out here. You know, it's not the same as it was when you was out here. So I put that in the book because I think it's necessary and it can be beneficial to both the elders and the young people to share some life events, to share how it was. You know, for us to share how it was in our time, and for them to share how it is during their time, so that we can kind of take notes and kind of see, which how can we enhance their lives with some of our experience, and how some of their life experiences can enhance our lives. And through that, through those conversations, actually establish a connection of similarities. Because even though we lived in different times, there's still things that we're going to be dealing with that's similar. You know, when we were coming up, we still had people or life events that shaped us, that influenced us. You know, people we gravitated towards, things that we gravitated towards. They have that same thing now. They have people that they gravitate towards and things they gravitate towards. You know, we used to, like to hang out in the neighborhood, on 17th Ave. Some of them still do the same thing now. They still hang out in their neighborhood. Different being that now where we felt safe, they feel unsafe because you never know when somebody may roll up and just start, firing off. So with them sharing some of the stories and us sharing some of ours, I believe that can help them, start saying, okay, man, if y'all was like that, what did y'all do to make sure that y'all had, peace on the block where people wasn't pulling out their guns for every little thing because you stepped on my toe because I was scared of you. So we can help each other. I think as elders, we've been the age that the young people are today. We've been 25, we've been 18, we've been 35, we've been 40. They haven't been where we are at now. So we have an advantage when it comes to life lessons because we've lived a longer time. However, as you age, we all know as you get a certain age, your body doesn't operate the way it used to when you was 20, when you was 30. So they have the youth. Now we can tie those things together where they use that energy that they have by being the younger age, and we impart some of that wisdom that we have by being our age, and we can tie that together to basically, you know, help and enhance each other, then we'll have something going on. We'll be able to. I I personally, my opinion, we'll be able to make some real tremendous, much needed changes to the neighborhoods and the households and the communities. You know what I mean? I think that's what my overall reason for writing about that was, so that we could reconnect with each other and be able to utilize our differences as well as our similarities to enhance a better relationship between the younger and the elders. That was my reason for putting it in there.
That's a good reason too. Um, I think um, I think it's good sharing. Well, I know it's good sharing different experiences because not gain you gain knowledge by listening and observing, um um to other people.
Right.
So somebody experience or what they did in the walks of their life, it might be able to help you somewhere down the line.
Absolutely.
um Almost everybody who's an adult could recite something that their grandmother told them, that their grandfather told them, that their mother told them, that their father told them, an older brother, an older sister, a teacher, a pastor, just anybody, an elder, anybody that you consider an elder to you. All of us got stuff that's in our mental, um, that was told to us one time or other by somebody older than us. And you might don't understand it at the time, or you might don't get it at the time, but I guarantee you, you're gonna run into a situation somewhere, somehow, some way. You're gonna run into a situation in your life, if God lets you keep living, and something that an elder told you, it's gonna ring in the back of your mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you have time, it might save your life. It might save your relationship. It might save you from a lot of hardship. You know what I mean? Um, it definitely can't hurt you. And to flip it around to young people sharing their experiences with older people, sometimes that keeps older people alive. Um, it it brings it bring them back to the youth in them. Hearing young people's stories. You know what I mean, and stuff that that's going on now. You know what I mean, and with older people, they've been young before. So all in all, I think it's more meaningful to the young person hearing the life experiences from the older person, and I think it's gonna go with them. It'll go because I know it go with me. It'll go with you through your whole life.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree. Now let's shift gears for a second because this next question is personal for a lot of us. Do you believe in second chances? Not the cute social media version. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about real redemption, the kind that requires accountability, growth, a willingness to rewrite your story. Do you believe people can truly turn their lives around when the world has already counted them out?
You know, I believe in second chances. Um, I believe everybody deserves a second chance, whether it's because you committed a crime, or you cheated on somebody, you stole something, you hurt somebody's feelings. I believe everybody deserves a second chance because, first of all, no two people are the same, and what's right, what's hurtful to one person might not be hurtful for the next person. Um, Even if we talking about the the judicial system, or I just believe everybody deserves a second chance for whatever you do, because you have people that make mistakes. Then you have people who just made bad choices. Then you have people who maybe was like abused or something like that, and forced into making bad choices or drug addictions. It's so many things. I know some things seem so. Um, I think hint. What's that word? Hindious. Um,
Hideous.
yeah, some things seem so hideous, like when somebody kills somebody or unalive somebody or something like that, and you want to, you know, them to get the chair or whatever. But I don't know. I just believe everybody deserves a second chance. What about you?
Yeah, I think people, if you're sincerely, as I said, like you ready to make the necessary changes in your life and really rewrite your life story and give up whatever it is that you're asking for a second chance for, really willing to let that whatever it was go and move forward to something new that's going to be, you know, take you to a higher level and be more beneficial to not only you but those around you, then yeah, I think people do deserve opportunity to go for that, to get that opportunity.
Yeah.
My thing is I like to know what the audience think. What's the number? 973-460-1610.
Oh yeah, 9973 460 1610.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So what
that'll be
yeah,
good. That'll be a
yeah,
good topic.
we'd like to know what y'all think when it comes to second chances. Give us a call. That's 973-460-1610. Give us a call and let us know what you think about second chances. Do you think people actually deserve a second chance, or you
Right.
think one shot it's over? You do something that hurt you or something like that, then it's over. Or do you feel like it depends on what they want a second chance for? As I as I said, give us a call. We'd like to hear your thoughts. It's not all
Yes.
about
Yes.
us.
And
This is about
we
us
waiting for
as a
that.
family. You
We
know what I
waiting for
mean?
that first phone call.
Yeah, yeah. This is a family discussion. So come on, family, give us a
we
call. You know?
wait. We waiting for that first phone call.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might have to give you a prize. um, moving right along. This relate to everybody. Everybody, if anybody could call, this should be something people call about because this is one everybody struggles with in the world. Me, you, everybody. What is one word or phrase you say consistently that you are working on using less, or to stop using it altogether?
Okay. One word or
Or
a phrase
phrase.
that I use consistently that I would either like to use less or stop using altogether. Uh, is one word. Is a word like where I'm talking and I go
Yeah, we all do that.
that's a word that I would like to use less. And when it comes to a phrase, I would like to say, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? I would like to use that less. You know what I mean? As I just said it again, you know what I mean? So that's a phrase that I would like to use less and replace it with something else. And I thought that was important because, as you said, many of us have a word or a phrase that we use consistently, even, just without even thinking about it. just it just becomes a part of our everyday conversation,
Yep.
and we don't even realize we are using that word or that phrase half the time. Then sometimes we catch ourselves and we try to dial it back. But I just think that was something that was interesting to kind of talk about and see what other people have, because some people, they may use a different word. There's a lot of people who use curse words, you know. So that was just something that came to my mind. What about you? What word or phrase would you like to use less of, or stop using
Man,
completely?
mine is evident. Definitely, mine is a bad word that I've been struggling with for years to stop using, and that's bitch, bitch.
Oh, you said, yeah. What
Yeah, that's the word that
you want to use less of?
yeah, or stop completely. Yeah, I really don't got no phrases, but it's just that word, that one word. I wish I could eliminate that from my vocabulary,
Okay. Now,
but it's hard.
so now, do you just use it sometimes? Like you be saying, oh, them bitches.
Yeah, like that.
So,
I don't call nobody.
so,
In the past I did, but like
right.
when I
So
was
you don't
younger,
even have to be angry to use it.
yeah, I don't call anybody that anymore. But in the past, when I was younger, I did. But now, I just I use it a lot, like under my breath,
Oh, okay.
or you know what I mean, or to myself. But
Oh,
even that,
oh,
I would just like to eliminate it, you know, from my whole way of thinking and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I don't really say nigga that much. You know, I don't really say that.
Right, right.
I don't like that word either, because too many people have. I feel bad when I'm walking in the street and I hear like white people or Spanish people or Jamaican or somebody saying it. I it turned my stomach, like to hear people saying like because now they use it as a word of compassion or
Endearment, endearment.
endearment.
Right, endearment.
So I don't freak with that word. I really don't never say it. You know what I mean?
No, okay.
And I mean
Yeah.
important people say it, like comedians and you
Well,
know
yeah.
stuff like that. But I can't freak with that word because um you don't hear like Chinese people walking up to each other saying, "What's up, chink?" You know what I mean? You don't hear Polish people walking up to each other saying, "What's up, Polak?" You know what I mean?
Right, right.
You don't hear Chinese people walking up to each other saying, "What's up, slant eyes?" You don't hear Spanish people walking up to each other saying, "What's up, spit?" Like you know what I mean? Like, but we the only people that walk up to each other. What's up, nigga? What's up? You know, we the only people
What's up, my
that
nigga?
my nigga. Yeah,
What's up, my
we the
nigga?
we the only people that do that. You know, we use it as a term of endearment. And don't get me wrong, anybody could be a nigga because when you look up the definition of nigga in a dictionary, a nigger is an ignorant person. So
Right,
it can be anybody could be a nigga if
right,
you
right,
ignorant, but it's just the way we have turned it into a word of endearment when we really know what it meant 400 years ago in slavery. You know what I mean? It was used as demonizing word. Um,
dehumanizing, dehumanizing.
dehumanizing word, yeah, you know what I mean, and
Yeah,
degrading and stuff like that.
humiliating and things of that nature. Right.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
anyway, bitch, that's my shit right there. That's what I gotta
Okay.
get rid of.
Stop using the bitch word. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I hear that. You know. Now, I was speaking to one of our 17th family brothers, Joaquin, and he was saying he heard someone speaking about niggas saying from Africa saying that the word was actually meant that we were kings. Said in ancient times it actually meant kings.
Nigger.
Yeah, yeah, he told me that, a few weeks ago. Yeah, so I mean, but see, we got to. It's necessary for us to look at words, like
I
how words meanings change.
I mean, you know me, I research everything, but I ain't gonna say it's not true. I believe it because if you do if you know how we try, like me, I got a little gut and it be killing me. And if you got a little gut, how hard we be trying to get rid of it.
Right,
But in ancient times, I think in England, maybe the bigger your stomach was, the wealthier you was. So you know what I mean. So
right.
you heard of that before?
Yeah, yeah,
So and I think it was Europe somewhere. Maybe it was in Europe or somewhere. Anyway, the people, the kings, they walked around with a big ass stomach. So the bigger their stomach was, the richer they was, because that mean they ate good. You know, they ate the best of the food, and other people ate the worst foods. But the kings, if you had a lot of money, you had good food. So I could believe that, because if a big stomach symbolized that you was a king, you know what I mean. I
yeah,
could believe that the word nigga could mean you was a king.
yeah. Well, that's what he said. I didn't really research it. I just found it intriguing. I didn't really research it to see
Yeah,
if it was legit.
I believe it.
Like, for example, you have two words that I could think of, like gay. Back in the day, gay meant happy.
Yeah,
There was a time, I'm gay, I feel gay. It meant happy.
yeah,
And when we were in school, you used to, you know, England used to use the word fag as a cigarette.
yeah,
So I only brought those words up to say that over time and in different places, words mean different things.
yep,
And just us, like we as black people, in the seventh century, we were called blackamoors. However, we dropped the more part and we just kept black part. So we just call ourselves black, but we don't
right,
say black or more. We don't call ourselves more.
right,
So it's like now we operate on part of who we are rather than fully who we are. Because the
right,
more part gives us a whole different scenario. It gives us legal rights and political identity. As a more. So that's something else. That I think as a people we need to dive a little deeper into. But words have power. How
yeah,
many people? How many people say in the name of Jesus? That name had power. That's a word. But people you can hear people pray and they be saying in the name of Jesus.
yeah,
So yeah. So we know those that words have power.
yes, indeed.
Okay, now here's the last one, and this one might stir up the pot a little bit. Some countries are now banning internet access for children under the age of 16. No social media, no TikTok, endless scrolling, just childhood and their protection or control, you know, under their protection. So is it smart or is it an overreach for, if America decided to do that, what do you think would happen? You know,
Um, I think it's a good idea that they should cause think about it, it's a lot of countries that's banning the internet now for if you're not sick. Some is banning it completely, but a lot of them is banning it for 16 years and older. China, Afghanistan, Germany, Russia, um, uh, where else? Anyway, Korea. They turning the chips off completely because if you think about it, that's all we doing here is this damn internet. You know what I mean? Kids
Right.
catch out. Kids don't even go outside and play no more. Yo, if you really think about that in your mind, really think about that. Do the science. Kids don't even go outside and play no more. We was outside playing at what? 7, 8,
As soon as
9,
we could, as soon as we could get out,
to
whenever
7,
we was able to get out, we was playing.
playing football in the streets,
Yeah.
football in the snow, baseball, basketball.
Red
Um,
light,
gr-
green light.
girls was playing hopscotch and double dutch, jumping with the ropes and hide and see. And yo, if you really, it's kind of crazy when you think about it that kids don't even go outside no more. Yo, that's really crazy because think of how that's making the world now. You don't even know how to your whole life is when we was in contact with people because we was outside young. Their contact is with internet people. It's not real. But I mean, the internet is real, but I'm saying it's not real because you got people out here. You could be whoever you want to be. You could catfish people. Ladies come out here and change they complexion. Guys come out here and lie about their status.
Yeah.
Females now they know how to make themselves look slimmer online. You know, I seen that now. Ladies taking pictures and making themselves look slimmer, or making they got bad skin, they making themselves have smooth skin.
Oh, okay.
Um, you know what I mean? So it's the internet. It has gotten so bad. I can see why other countries is stopping that. They smart. They smart the ban it, and you know in other countries they ain't gonna play around. Like if we did it here, we do it here now. And you got 12-year-olds, they'll make a Facebook page and say they're 18, or they'll make a Instagram and say they're 16. See, in another country they ain't gonna do that because if they do that, the other countries might come and cut your hand off, or you know what I mean? They might kill you, you know, or they might throw you in a fucking under a dungeon or something. So they ain't gonna play around with it like in them other countries like they do here. So you ain't gonna catch no 13-year-old in Russia making a page saying he 18. Nah, they gonna kick his door in and probably Afghanistan and them countries like that. They gonna come in there and cut his damn hand off. So me, I believe it's gonna have to be it's gonna have to get under control soon. If it don't get under control, ah man, I don't even know where this world going, man. I just don't know, man. I don't know. It's you go on Instagram, it's ladies 500 pounds shaking their ass every day. Um,
Mm.
it's I don't know. I just don't know where it's going. If they don't control it and maintain it, they showing people fighting and shooting each other and getting ran over by cars. And if they don't, if America don't get a grip on this in the next 5 years, it's gonna be out of control. It's already out of control, but I don't know where we gonna be. What you think about it?
I think, yeah, it could be something for protection, protecting the young people because, as you said, you made a good point. what about the young people 12, 13, making themselves 18 or 20? And as you said, they have a lot of filters now. So the
Filters,
filters can
filters.
make a 13-year-old look like she's 25, maybe. And now she's putting herself in danger, or he putting themselves in danger by saying their age that they're not. So for protection purposes, I don't think it would be a bad idea. And as the way that the American family look at it, a lot of them will be looking at it as control, and or it's overreaching for the government. And me myself, I think the parents need to be more mindful. That's why
Mm.
I put it in the book about some of the things that I did when I was younger. That it wasn't no internet. It was just seeing certain things at an early age that I duplicated from seeing it. So
Yeah.
the same thing is happening now, but young people are seeing it on the internet. They're seeing other people doing certain type of actions or activities that they're emulating that are in my opinion, kind of unhealthy for you know certain ages or inappropriate for certain ages, which will cause a lot of turmoil. So I think definitely we should, as an American family or a family of humans, be mindful of how how much access young people have to the internet at a
Mm.
certain age. How much, I think we definitely need to focus on that. And I'm pretty sure, like I know, the Jews, they do that.
Mm.
Jewish people, they do that. They have certain type of phones that won't allow them to get on the internet, or won't
Yeah,
allow
yeah, I heard
certain.
about that.
Yeah, yeah. So you have things that you can do. It's just, are you willing to do it, and are you willing to enforce it now that your children has had access to the internet? And I spoke on it in the book that a lot of parents use the tablets as babysitters.
Oh
You
yeah,
know, yeah, they give them the tablet to get them out of their hair, and they don't know what they really, indulging in. You know what
that's
I'm
true.
saying?
That's
So
true.
yeah, that definitely was one of those questions that make you go, hmm. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? You need to think about doing that because, as you said, when we were growing up, we had a lot of outside activities. You know, red light, green light, eat the peck, Simon Says. Some of these children, they don't even know like that. Duck, duck, goose. All the little things where,
Hot peas and butter.
right. So some of these things, while we still here, I think it's necessary, going back to what I was saying before, sharing some of our life experience with some of the young people. We can share some of those games that we used to play
Yeah,
it with them, so that they can have them and play them with their children, so we can work on some of that, obesity.
yeah.
You know, so yeah, that's my take on it.
All right, we got one more question here. We got time.
Yeah, we got about 10 minutes.
Okay. Um. Um. You wrote about meeting your wife at 20 years old. In your book, you wrote about
Right.
meeting her at 20 years old, and so how how does that tie into the young people nowadays?
How I think it ties in because I have a grandson that's 20 years old now, and he has a little girlfriend too. And when I met my wife, at the time, my girlfriend, someone that I was interested in, I saw qualities in her that was worth pursuing. Qualities such as you know honesty. What was the innocence? Things because started started getting into the streets from an early age. So got to deal with a lot of different individuals, and I had became my mentality became jaded. It became where I just felt like I needed to reestablish some hope, reestablish that there was something or someone that was still, uh, honest and pure and wanted, didn't have no hidden or secret agendas. And I think how that plays into nowadays is as I was when I was younger, 20 before 20, I was just looking for like one thing. You know what I mean? I was just looking for sexual excitement. And I think a lot of young people now are doing that same thing. They're looking for sexual gratification. And when you're looking for sexual gratification, you miss out on other things or other aspects about a person that could be more rewarding to you both. So I think, in my opinion, that what's being promoted, uh, what I want to say, in society today is detrimental to companionship, is detrimental to building a foundation. Like, my wife has, you know, been a intricate part in my growth with, you know, things that she and I went through, things that I learned from her, things that I taught her, things that she taught me. And I think that's what people are missing in relationships now. They're not looking at what can we get from each other than a few minutes or hour of sexual bliss. And and once we can, people can really start looking at it from a different aspect of like my wife, I I say she's beautiful, you know, because it's more than just about her physical appearance. It's one thing to be attracted to a person's physical appearance. It's another thing to be attracted to the inner part of the person. And I think there's a lot of pretty women, but there's very few beautiful women, in my opinion, because most women look good on the outside, but they have no substance. You especially the ones who have this attitude where they feel like they got to be taken care of. You got to do for them, and if you don't do for them, they don't want to be bothered with you, or you need to be making six figures just to deal with them. Those type of women are causing, to me, in my opinion, a lot of turmoil in the community. And same with the guys who are looking for women just to smash them or knock a baby out of them, and then don't want to be bothered with them and leave the baby. You know what I mean? Leave a woman pregnant and make another baby. Now they got three babies the same age and they ain't taking care of none of them. And this is for the ladies. If you meet a guy like that that has three babies and ain't taking care of none of them, guess what? You don't have the answer to get him to stop and take care of your baby. So don't be the fourth one when it comes to a guy like that. Leave them alone. I say this. Them the ones I call, and I don't even use words like this, but I like to call them the fuck niggas. You know what I mean? Because they messing up the society because they're fucking up the society by not handling their responsibilities as fathers. You know, and I'm only using that word because I want to emphasize how important and how much that hurts the community when you got guys like that that run around making babies and don't want to take care of them. All you guys that do that, you're fuck niggas. You know, and that's it. You know, that's my thought about it. What do
I,
you think?
I always said that, like when people talk about people who don't pay child support, I always said I don't want to hear nothing about that. If you ain't take care of your kid or pay child, because I paid child support from 20 years old to 40 years old. So I don't want to hear nothing about nobody who not doing what they supposed to do. But another thing that I didn't even know that you just said, you met your wife at 20. I never even thought about that or knew that. And I got married to my son mother at 20.
Yeah,
So I met her when I was 19, I think 19. Yeah, and I married her when I was 20. So when you met your wife, you was 20,
right.
and I got married to my wife at 20. So I probably met her like a year before, I guess you did. But it all go along to saying the same things, that where our mindset was at, how mature we was. Um, because you met your wife at 20, and then you got married and you still with her, and I got married at 20. So that, you know what I'm saying, that and that lasted 10 years off and on. So
Right.
that just lets you know the mindset we had at that age, that we was highly developed. You know what I mean? And and the kids today, we came so far from where they at today. You know what I mean? Because I doubt if you could find a 20-year-old talking about getting married, or a 20-year-old. How long you been with your wife?
Uh, say 43 years, man.
Or I
That's
doubt if you
43
could.
years.
I doubt if you could find somebody 20 years old right now ready to build a future with somebody for 43 years. You know what I mean? So that just lets you know the disparity and the difference between the young adults of then us and the young adults of now. You know what I mean? And that's going back to that other thing we talked about, 25.2 million adults 35 and under living at home with their parents. Like, it's something wrong going on somewhere. Now, where it's going wrong at, you said, I think a lot got to do with the parents, maybe. Um, I agree. I'm a parent. I wasn't the best, but it's a bigger picture that we gotta, um, that not we, the world, all of us gotta look into and try to correct it, because it's going backwards. It's not going forward. It's going backwards with the young adults. You know what I mean? They not as mature as we was. They not uh goal driven as we was. They don't have the motivation that we had, the courage and the strength and the, desire to do things, whether it was a drug dealer or was a work in a factory. You know what I mean? It's somewhere the disparity went wrong. And I don't know, I guess that's for another show, but that's what I say.
you're absolutely right. I mean, I think if I'm not mistaken, the generation, the generation that you mentioned around about that and a little above it, some of them are the first because in the first generations to not do better than the generation previous. In our culture, each generation has been noted to do better than the previous generation.
Yeah,
So we now have a generation who are not exceeding the previous generation. So
that's
yes,
facts. That's facts.
do we take some accountability? Definitely.
We have
It's
to.
necessary for us to take some accountability, as you said. We somewhere we dropped the ball. And
Yeah,
even though you dropped the ball, you can pick the ball back up. You don't have to let the ball stay down. You know what I mean? The ball don't have to stay on the ground. You can pick the ball back up. So whatever it is that we need to do, along with the times as we did, dive into the internet, distractions and things of that nature, a lot of that plays parts in it because now you have all these different images and all this different information flooding your brain to where in my opinion, people don't know which way to go sometimes because
yeah, they
there's
don't.
so much information out there. They're wildly confused, So that's what I think, and that's our time, and we apologize for starting late, so we stayed a little later for you guys. You know, we appreciate you, family, for taking the time to spend with us, and we want you to stay focused, stay healthy, love yourselves, and take care of each other. So next week, well, but let them know before we go.
Oh, tomorrow night, Friday, 10 o'clock on TikTok at JSean763. Facebook Live, Randy J. Sean Jackson. We'll be on there keeping it real. Relationship talk at its best. You know what I mean? That's all. Just relationship talk at its best. And I'll be getting back to my food show on Sunday. I took a couple of weeks off. So I haven't done it since Memorial Weekend, so I'll be getting back to that. A lot of people been sending me different dishes they want me to try. Guyanese pepper pot, Philippine pansy, and Jamaican food, ackee and codfish. So I got a lot of
No,
things coming up on my son.
Aki and saltfish, Aki and
Saltfish,
saltfish,
yeah,
Aki
yeah.
and
So I,
saltfish. Yeah,
so I got a lot of stuff to come up to try. I hope I like it, but we'll see.
yeah. The Aki's pretty good. The saltfish not bad. It's pretty good.
It is,
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's an acquired taste, but it's not bad. I've had it
yeah,
before.
yeah. I
Aki
never
and
had it,
saltfish. Yeah,
so
and and with that being said, we also have the 17th Ave Family live podcast on Sundays at 9 o'clock. So tune into that with me and the brother Jay Wise, aka Joaquin, all right, aka Big Moves. So tune into that. And till then, like I said, stay focused.
yep.
All
Peace.
right, peace.
Like this, not like this.
All right.